tools and softwares we use as a web developer. And as always, we need one IDE to write code in. Nowadays, a standard editor which web developer uses is Notepad++. No, I'm just kidding. It's VS Code or Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio, not something else. It's Visual Studio Code or VS Code. It's lightweight editor by Microsoft, which is probably used by many of web developers including me. It's really good editor and it has so many nice feature in it. You can install plugins for whatever the language you are working on. That might be Java, that might be Python or JavaScript. Anything, it has one plugin for it. And whatever the workflow needs to be fit your programming language, it also can be installed via plugins. That's why you don't have to worry about whether it's going to support X language or Y language. It's going to support whatever the language which you are using. That's why it's one of the best editor out there at the moment. And another tool which will be used for every kind of development is Git. You need to install Git and Git bash installed in your system if you are using Windows. If you are using Mac, use whatever the shell available in it. If you are using Linux, it also same, that whatever the shell available you have to use. In Windows, it's better to install Git and Git bash together. It already comes together only, I guess. So Git is a technology where we can version control whatever the code which we are writing. Using this version controlling system, you can take snapshot of whatever the code you have worked on, and if something is not working properly, you can always revert back and check what kind of code presented in previous section. So Git is one of the best tools which you need to learn as soon as you are going to get started with web development. And another thing is using terminal or shells. If you are on Linux or Mac, the default shell is really good and you should use that only. As I said earlier, in Windows, the terminal is really good, the Windows terminal which is present in Windows 11. But if you are using older version of Windows, that is command prompt or even PowerShell, it's better if you install Git bash. It's going to give same experience as how it is in Mac and Linux. That's why Git bash is one of the recommended operating system. You don't need to know too much in depth about terminal. You can just learn basics of it. That is how to create folders, how to delete folder, how to remove files, how to create files, how to open up any kind of file in your language, whichever language you are using. These things are going to help you to do the things quickly rather using the graphical user interface available in your computer, because shells make us do the things faster than how we can do it using mouse or trackpad. That's why you need to learn terminal or shell. Next, you need to install Node.js. No matter what kind of tool you are using right now, Node.js is one of the basic tool which you need to have it installed on your system. It's going to help you to do lots of things, even if you are not using JavaScript or any Node kind of project, because it's going to allow you to install any kind of software dependency for the front end of the project if you are using some other language other than JavaScript. If you are using JavaScript, you must have Node.js installed. Most of the tutorial, I don't show how to install Node.js because it should be primarily installed whenever you are setting up your computer for first time. That's why these tools, whatever I mentioned earlier and now, all these tools are necessary for web development, and without one of these tools, the web development experience will be little bit down. That's why whenever you are learning, it's better to have it all installed.